so many modeling scams that happen right now, and it's really hard to know, is this agency a scam? Is this company pretending to be a reputable agency? So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to spot a modeling agency scam so that you do not get taken advantage of. This is a burning question that I get all the time from people on my social media, so I'm just going to dive right into the tips so that you can make sure that you're making the right decisions before you sign any modeling agency contracts. And make sure that you stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to give you a really quick but phenomenal secret on how you can make sure that before you sign a contract that you're making a really good decision. All right, one of the biggest scams that happen in the industry is when individuals pretend to be a reputable modeling agency. So sometimes you're thinking, well, how the heck do I know which agency is legit and which is not? So sometimes there are individuals who will recreate Wilhelmina's Instagram page, for instance. And what they do is they will make a clone copy of the real Wilhelmina's Instagram page. And then from that fake account that looks pretty much identical to the real Wilhelmina page, then they will start contacting people. You may have gotten an Instagram DM or inbox message from an agency that seems reputable and it says, hey, we would love to offer you a contract or we would love to talk to you about becoming a model for our agency, and you get all excited. But here are some little secrets to know. Is this agency that's contacting you the real Wilhelmina or the real agency, or is this just an individual or a company that's committing a fraudulent copy of the real agency? If you happen to be new to my channel, my name is Kamla. I am a professional agency signed model. So I have booked print jobs, TV commercials, modeling opportunities with brands such as Kohl's, Walmart, Stella McCartney, David Beckham, let's see, the Ritz-Carlton, to name a few. And so I'm also a modeling mentor and a posing coach. So you can just go to my description area. I have links for free guides that you can download, and I also do one-on-one coaching classes as well. So the biggest secret to figuring out this specific tip is you want to look at the photos that were just posted by this company that is contacting you. So for instance, if you were to go to just about any modeling agency's Instagram page, you're going to see that they have photos posted in January, February, March, April, May, right? It's going to be a range of different dates within different months. However, when it's a scam company that is trying to recreate a clone of a real agency, when you go through their photos, look in the bottom corner of each photo, and what you're going to notice is that the date is the exact same for every photo uploaded. So typically what happens is they will just copy a bunch of photos from the real agency's Instagram page, and this all happens all at once through like a bot system or even just manually, but you're going to know because all of the photos that were updated are from the same exact post date. Real agencies don't do that. Also, let's say that someone contacts you, for instance, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case is. Another simple way of paying attention to see if this is the real agency is look at their URL or their page name. So for instance, if the real Wilhelmina's page is Wilhelmina Models, for instance, the scam page is going to be something such as Wilhelmina.models or Wilhelmina Models with an extra S or an extra L. So there's something a lot of times in the actual name of their page that clues you in, and a lot of times we do not pay attention to those minute details. Should an agency contact you, for instance, and say, hey, we love your look, we'd love to set up a meeting with you, or whatever the case is, what you want to do is go to Google and then type in the name of the modeling agency that you have an interest in. Then you're going to go to their website and go to their contact section. And within the contact section, you want to look up their address and their phone number. And then you want to call that phone number and say, hey, I just received an inbox message from your agency. I want to make sure that this was a valid contact, or if this is a scam individual pretending to be your agency. Another big indication that you are getting scammed or that someone is trying to scam you is that they're going to send you an email. And in the email, it's going to say something to the effect of, we would love to book you for an upcoming photo shoot. We are going to pay you for this photo shoot. We're going to provide you with a stylist, a photographer, a makeup artist, the whole 9 yards. And in that email, a lot of times what will happen is they're going to say something like, we're going to pay you about $500 per hour. Agencies are not paying models $500 per hour unless maybe you're someone like Kendall Jenner, right? So that is something important to pay attention to. Also, real reputable modeling agencies are going to have their address as their agency address. Whereas someone that is scamming you or trying to scam you is going to have something like a Gmail address, for instance, or an address that has numbers. So pay attention to the actual email address that this agency is, or this note is coming from, and not just whatever their signature line is. So email address is often a dead giveaway, as well as the amount that they say that they're going to pay you in the email. Really quickly, before we continue, if you are getting value out of this video, make sure that you smash that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button as well, because you know YouTube really encourages engagement. So in order for me to continue to do these videos free of charge to you, it really helps if you support my channel in that way. Another great tip to make sure that you do not fall into this trap, unfortunately, I get DM messages on Instagram all the time with people telling me that they have done this or asking me if they should do this. So this scam that sometimes happens, and some people don't necessarily call it a scam, but it's something that I don't recommend, and that is for you to pay anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to attend a modeling convention. So there are various conventions that happen that basically tell you that you're going to be able to come there, you're going to be able to meet with agencies and have all of these directors and modeling agencies all in one room. So yes, those conventions do happen, but do you really need to attend those types of conventions in order to get the attention of an agency or in order to become a model? Absolutely not. So what happens is sometimes an agency will say, hey, we would love to represent you. We think that you have a great look. We have this convention that is coming up, and we really think that in order for you to be a success with our agency, that you go to this convention. Or maybe it's a modeling scout. Maybe it's not someone that's going to actually be signing you to an agency, but they are a scout that works for these conventions, and then they try to convince you to pay to go to these conventions. You do not have to do that. On my YouTube channel, I have a lot of videos that walks you through how to go ahead and directly submit yourself to agencies on the agency websites or in open calls. And then I also do one-on-one coaching as well. So if you're someone that you don't necessarily want to binge watch all of my content and you want content tailored directly to you and to directly have all of your questions answered, I do offer one-on-one coaching as well. And it does not cost you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. You can save that extra money for your portfolio. All right, we are rolling along with making sure that you avoid as many of these modeling industry scams as possible. So the next one along the same lines of what you should pay in order to become a model is this aspect of a registration fee. So there are some agencies, of course, the ones that I do not recommend, that will say to you, oh, we would love to sign you, but we have a small registration fee. Maybe it's $25, maybe it's $50, something like that. Sometimes they'll make it a small fee so that you don't really think too much about it and you're like, oh, it's no big deal. But reputable agencies that are respected in this industry, they do not charge a registration fee to their models. So you do not need to be paying any upfront money in order to specifically get a contract with an agency. Now, yes, are there fees to become a model? Yes, you're gonna have to invest in maybe travel, for instance, to go to other locations, investing in your portfolio, runway classes, posing classes, whatever the case is, but you should not have to pay a fee simply for an agency to say, hey, we want to offer you a contract. Make sure that if you're listening to this video and you are having additional questions or you just have other thoughts, drop them in the comments. I really like to hear from you so that I can answer additional questions that you have, whether in the comments or in other videos. So drop the comments and don't forget to hit subscribe. Okay, before we wrap up this video, as promised, I told you there was going to be a secret at the end of this video in terms of how to quickly make sure that you do your research on if an agency is reputable. So let's talk about that. If you get contacted by an agency that you have an interest in, or maybe it is an agency that you've already had an interest in and you're trying to figure out, okay, is this a good fit specifically for me? This is what you want to do. You are going to go to that agency's Instagram page and you're going to go through their photos and see the models that are tagged in those photos. What you then want to do is go ahead and then inbox message at least 5 to 7 of those models that you see on the agency page. And essentially what you want to do is you want to say, hey, I saw you listed on XYZ's Instagram page. I am considering submitting to them. What are your thoughts on this agency? Are they reputable? Is it someone that you like working with? Do they treat their models well? Just very basic questions. You don't want to make it too long because if you send them an entire book, a lot of people are just not going to respond. So keep your questions short and to the point, and obviously thank them for their time. Pro tip, if you are going to inbox someone and ask them for all this advice, make sure that you are following their page. It's just social media etiquette. It really irks many creators, content creators, models, what have you, if people are sending them inbox messages for all of these questions and they have not even taken the small token by following their page. Keep in mind that as you're doing this research, if you happen to reach out to someone and you want to say, hey, I'm going to use Wilhelmina again as an example. If you're going to say, hey, is Wilhelmina a reputable agency? They could say, yes, it's reputable, but you have to make sure that the Wilhelmina that you're referring to is the one that they're also going to be considering. What do I mean by that? Maybe you did get a message from Wilhelmina, but it's the fake Wilhelmina page. So if you do get a notice from another agency, be clear to that model on which agency's Instagram page you got a message from, just to make sure that you're on the same page of which agency you're talking about, and is agency over here a scam, or is agency over here the real agency? All right, so there are so many things that could be said about how to avoid modeling agency scams. Hopefully this video gave you some insight into the really big and important ones. I'm sure that as other things come up, especially in this world of AI, and just unfortunately as more people find more unique ways to scam people, there's going to be more things to talk about. But for now, that is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.